Some of the most difficult things to deal with, for example, the bedroom tax and move to personal independence payments, well, you won't change those from the Welsh Government. If you want to see the bedroom tax ended, which we know affects a number of people with a range of disabilities, including mental health, then you need a change of government in Westminster to actually repeal it. That's what we'd like to see. I think the great majority of people in the Assembly would like to see that as well, but it does require the country to make a choice at a general election.
Yes, so it's a case of waiting to what happens in a year's time.
Yes, and you know, the current coalition have set out their stall on welfare reform. They've been very clear about what they want to do and what they would do if they had a second term. That's just how it is. And so people have a very clear choice to make at that election. But in terms of the debate around what the welfare system should provide, the element of safety net and the element of opportunity for people to go out and work is very much a live debate that all of us need to engage in, because we do understand that just because you have mental health, it doesn't mean to say that you can't work and can't contribute. It may mean that you need more support in being able to do that, but there are a whole range of people that need that support, and we all benefit from that, from having people who are able to go out and work and pay taxes rather than to actually be left at home, and we know that that often makes the problem worse, not better.
Yes, and of course when you link that with people with disabilities and mental health as well, someone say that, you know, is there a call for a disabled people's commissioner, perhaps someone who can champion the rights of disabled people, you know, whether that's physical learning disability or mental health, to champion their rights and help them through?
Well, we've had engagement with a range of disabled rights groups, and none of them have mentioned this as one of their top 3 priorities. So we haven't heard a unified call from representative groups themselves for this, but I do recognise there's a call and there's a discussion out there about whether there should be a champion, but we're not persuaded that this would be the best way to carry forward priority areas of action. When the Welsh Government launched the Independent Framework for Living in September last year, it did set out to address a number of those key priority areas, and again, it's a fairly new strategy, there is money that goes with it, and so we'll be looking to review how effective those are, and obviously we'll want to hear from disabled rights groups themselves about how effective they think it's been over the course of its implementation. We will update on what's happening with that when we have the Government Strategic Equality Plan, the annual report for that, later on this year. And obviously on the broader point about what we're doing on tackling poverty, there's an annual report that we publish in July this year as well, so we'll be open and upfront about what we're doing and what we've achieved, and there's opportunity for scrutiny and engagement, because we want people to be actively engaged in what we're doing, because we want to see outcomes improve for people we're here in public life to serve.
And of course outcomes is what it's all about with the action plan that you're talking about today.
Absolutely right. We want to see improved outcomes for people right across Wales. We've set a number of priority areas to try and make the biggest difference, but what we say we want to do has to match people's lived actual experience. We want to be able to understand what works most effectively, how we effectively bring different services together to ensure that people have an easy way to interact with the services we provide, and ultimately we do want to see those outcomes improve. We don't just want to talk about how much money has been spent or what we call a programme. We want to actively see, has this helped to make a difference? Are people better off as a result of the action that we've taken or not? And that's what we want people to engage in.
Yeah, so it's definitely more about action rather than just talking, because a lot of people say, you know, we hear all the talk, we hear lots of fine words, what we really want is action on the front line, on the ground, and that's what's going to happen with this.
That's what we want to see, and you know, we'll be absolutely upfront about where we make progress and how much progress we make, and equally we'll be absolutely upfront about areas where we recognise that we need to improve, and I think the honesty of that engagement really does matter, and it's important that people tell us honestly what they see for themselves.